Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Saturday morning to you all. Hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend, a great start to your Saturday. Got you an update on what is likely going to occur weather-wise for today, as we always do in the morning videos. Pretty chill day. Not really a whole lot going on. Of course, we're going to have some flooding issues, and we are going to have a little bit of a chance for some severe weather across the middle portion of the country. Heat will definitely flex. But overall, I'm not expecting anything too crazy, but we do need to watch out for these showers and storms that do hit areas like eastern Kentucky that have already seen a lot of rain. So I want to remind you guys, I'm going to be making a pretty, I wouldn't say important necessarily, but a pretty big video tonight about the tropics. I almost made it last night, but I'm glad I kind of waited. I'm going to see what the models do throughout the day, but stay tuned tonight. I'm really starting to think we're going to have our first or not our first, but our fourth named storm of the Atlantic season, which would be Danielle, the D name. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. I'm not expecting an immediate threat, but I do think it could potentially be the opening door to a much more active period as we get to the latter part of August. So stay tuned for that. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Hit me up on the social media links over there, especially now that we're starting to slowly show signs of this hurricane season waking up. That's a great way to stay up to date. There's a lot of other great accounts to follow on Twitter, Facebook also. So if you guys got anything I can pray about, pray over them, put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. So really, water vapor loop doesn't tell a whole lot. You got a moist environment over the southeast, and then you got some ongoing storms in areas in the north central U.S., and then some showers and storms already developing in portions of the Ohio Valley and Kentucky right now. Let's hope they don't get too much rain today. They really don't need it. Recovery efforts are still ongoing. Storm Prediction Center, not a whole lot going on. The light green is just a general risk of storms. And then the marginal risk, which is the dark green, is a level 1 out of 5 risk of severe storms. So there might be some severe storms up here in areas of Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, southeast South Dakota. And then Wisconsin today, the biggest threat with this would just be maybe a small hail threat and a damaging wind threat, but not a big deal at all. Excessive rainfall outlook. We'll watch for this area also that has that marginal risk of severe storms. I'm expecting a lot of heavy rain to potentially fall in this region, so we'll certainly watch out for that. And then we need to watch out for the showers and storms that do form across the southern Appalachian Mountains, where y'all guys are definitely prone to flooding, especially right now with the catastrophic flooding to occur. Man, I retweeted it on Twitter and shared it on my Facebook if you follow me there. Just a heartbreaking story of a guy who saved a man and a woman, and just to save them, just for the woman to say that she lost her 4 children. I mean, it just goes to show you it's an awful situation. I know for me, every night in my prayers, I pray for the safety of my children and my wife. That's I think the first thing I pray for every night. And I just can't imagine going through anything like that. I really can't. It's just, I can't fathom it. I really can't. So my thoughts and prayers, and I know a lot of people just shoot that off the hip, thoughts and prayers, but really, man, them guys and them folks and them families and them communities need our prayers. So let's continue to look out for them and do whatever we can as individuals to help them. So let's keep rolling here. Watches and warnings. Heat advisories up for the middle of the country. It'll be very hot like an oven. Excessive heat warnings up for areas, I believe that includes Omaha, but very hot across the middle of the country, even in a heat advisory, I think, up for Detroit and 3 counties in Michigan, and then very hot in New England today and areas of the Northeast and New Jersey, Delaware. Very hot day expected today. So let's break it down each region at a time. Just general storms today, but then of course you need to watch out for the storms that do form in Kentucky and these areas of the country. Let's hope that if they get any storms that they just move through and then move on out. We don't need these kind of sitting over the same areas or training over the same areas. Let's hope it's a one and done situation or no rain falls at all in these areas. But basically from Louisiana through Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, Florida, anybody could see isolated scattered showers and storms. That's why today is a perfect day to have a reliable radar downloaded on your phone, because trying to pinpoint exactly where it's going to rain is impossible. If there's anybody who can actually do that, they should be a millionaire. But here we go at temperatures. From North Carolina, I'm expecting a pretty hot day. Areas in Northeast and South Carolina, The epicenter of more hot weather will be right in here, but just general summer heat. Nothing too wild. Even Texas and Louisiana cooling down somewhat compared to what y'all have seen the last couple months. But I think rain-cooled air, cloudy conditions will keep the temperatures relatively cool in these areas of West Virginia, and the mountains, just in general today in the hilly regions. The Northeast, a pretty quiet day. Certainly some showers and storms in West Virginia, and then they might sneak into areas of western Maryland, and then southern areas of PA, and then Virginia, and then maybe a storm might make it all the way into areas of New York State today. But a pretty slow day, not a whole lot going on. Very hot day, especially if you're in southern New England, where temperatures will rise well into the 90s. The valley of New York State, even into southern sections of Vermont and New Hampshire, especially New Hampshire, we'll see very warm temperatures today. Outside of that, just normal to slightly above average temperatures wise for the rest of the country. Michigan will be very hot today. Very, very warm August day for Michigan, 80s and 90s expected. The south central U.S., pretty quiet. Some tropical downpours will skirt on through southern Louisiana and then areas of southeast Texas. Houston saw some rain, I believe, yesterday. They definitely need it. Definitely could see some more rain today, but these showers and storms will not get much into central Texas where you really need to rain. And then south of Dallas-Fort Worth needs to rain also. But hopefully a storm or two might sneak into that region. Temperatures today, hotter up here in Kansas and Oklahoma and even southern Nebraska than maybe Texas today, where I think that, I think the epicenter of the hottest temperatures will be in this area, but maybe a touch cooler. Of course, it's still going to be hot, but maybe a touch cooler in Texas, where you don't have widespread 100-degree readings, but still very hot. Sorry, I got a frogger in my throat or something here. The north central U.S., watching already some showers and storms this morning, but then more widespread showers and storms develops. I would not be surprised at all if maybe a slight risk gets introduced for this area of the Iowa-Minnesota borderline. This is a robust-looking storm around the 6 to 7 p.m. time frame, riding the Iowa-Minnesota state line. So we'll watch for this area. If you're in this area of the country, this is well south of Minneapolis. Watch out for damaging winds. I mean, this holds together throughout the late evening hours into the overnight hours, and then begins to weaken as it approaches Lake Michigan. But then more showers and storms form behind it. This could provide a lot of heavy rain for this area right here, so we'll certainly watch out for that. Temperatures, big boundary. Cold front kind of sinking in. It doesn't sink far south, but enough to keep the whole entire state of Minnesota, once the storms clear through, pretty cool today. Not necessarily that fall feel. There'll be some humidness to the air, if you will, but definitely cooler the further north and northwest you go. But further southeast and south you go, very hot. In fact, it might be a very warm day, even all the way up into the UP of Michigan. Very warm summer day. You guys might get all the way up into the 80s, maybe a 90-degree reading, especially Wisconsin. So very warm the further south you definitely work here in east also. So, quick update on the tropics, and stay tuned tonight for sure. You know, you guys, I'm going to give you a better update, but this is the tropical wave that's starting to create a little bit of ruckus in the tropics world, the tropics part of the weather world. This is going to make its way into the later part of the weekend, into the MDR, basically the ocean, the North Atlantic, the tropical Atlantic. This is expected. Some of the models, especially the GFS, really likes the idea of this quickly development. I wouldn't call it rapid development. But GFS is all in of this being our next named storm. But the National Hurricane Center is even dubbing this an area of interest now. From overnight, the 2 a.m. update, a 20% chance to develop. I expect this to increase over the next 24 to 48 hours. They always start off with a lower chance, and then they increase it very quickly if they think that development is certainly increasing. But here it is, guys. It's the tropical Atlantic is slowly waking up. Is this a sign of things to rapidly ramp up? It's hard for me to say. Is this an immediate threat or a threat at all to the U.S.? If I had to say yes or no, I would say no right now, because it looks like model guidance really has this thing. And here it is. If you're wondering what day we're at, focus your eyes right here. So this is going through the entire length of the run. First off, there's a couple things we're going to talk about tonight, not just about this wave, but watch as this run starts over between right now. Here we go. Okay, starting over right here. Watch this wave coming across. We're getting into early to mid part of next week. We're getting into later next week. We got a sub 1,000 millibar low pressure and then it quickly weakens as it turns and goes northwest, enters shear in a hostile environment, and then it turns into nothing. But they got a lot of other things going on too. And granted, this is just one GFS run. Keep your eyes off this and keep your eyes on this right here. Watch this as a little piece of energy digs south. A little low pressure forms off the coast of the southeast and then develops. That could be a name storm too. This is just one GFS run. But there is ensemble support from this especially, and this little area right here. So we'll watch to see what's going to happen. But I can tell you, things are now, I can confidently say, things are starting to pick back up for sure. European ensembles for overnight on this wave. It doesn't like this too much, but it does like this. But notice, anything that forms, a lot of the runs that do have something forming has it really turning northwest, which to me symbolizes an out to sea run or staying out to sea run, which tells us that, hey, there might not be much of a threat to the U.S. But watch Bermuda. You certainly need to watch out. But anyways, it's too far out for us to know anything about threat. We need to figure out how this is going to develop first. But stay tuned tonight. I'm going to give you a much more detailed video on this. God bless all y'all. Have a great Saturday.